Good morning, Dan and Amy. So CPS walkout tomorrow. The red shirts supposed to be out in force, shutting down the city in protest of what Karen Lewis, Chicago Teachers Union boss, said, in protest of intolerable conditions.
But this isn't going to change anything. All it's going to do is inconvenience hardworking Chicagoans who want to go home on a Friday afternoon. And also the parents, a lot of the parents that I've spoken with, Dan, are against this one-day walkout for simply that fact it's not going to change anything. And some teachers aren't going to be walking, and some teachers are going to be protesting.
Yeah, some teachers are not. Now, I just want to work the logic on this because the teachers that are protesting, as described by Karen Lewis, value teachers and are doing it for the kids. Therefore, the teachers that do not participate do not value teachers and hate children. That's the only logical conclusion.
And Rahm Emanuel yesterday went once again. He had tears in his eyes, Dan, and he was trying to he was trying to convince teachers to do the right thing and not walk.
Do not take it out on our students. For our students, the school is their safest place, the place where they're going to learn.
And they've set up 250 safety sites for kids to go to, and they'll get free lunch and free breakfast. And if they need transportation to those sites, they'll provide it for them. But there's going to be a lot of kids just, out on the streets tomorrow, walking around, enjoying their day off.
Well, let's get a CPS teacher's perspective on this. Somebody that is daring to stand against the prevailing wind. He is Michael DeRoss. He's a social science, used to be called social studies in my day. Social science teacher at Lane Tech High School. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
So why don't you respect teachers and why do you hate children?
I don't know that that's the case at either level.
Well, so you're not participating in the walkout protest tomorrow. Why not?
Well, there's about 2 or 3 different levels that I find this wrong on. The first one is, maybe the most important one. We'll just do that. We have a process to go through when we believe we're aggrieved with an unfair labor practice. We should go through that process and let it wait. Because if we don't, then the strike's probably illegal. Additionally, we sit in our classrooms and tell our kids, follow the law, obey the law, follow the rules of the classroom, and do, what the law says. And then we're going to go out and, for the most part, say that the law didn't act quick enough for us, and we're just going to take it into our own hands and break it. And I find that a very immoral way to either act or teach. I can't support that. And finally, as Amy, I think, rightfully said, this thing's not going to accomplish anything. This is a show strike for Karen. That's all.
Now, in 2012, 19 teachers crossed the picket line, and Jesse Sharkey and Karen Lewis said that if, you threaten to cross a picket line, you will lose your union membership. Are you concerned about that, or maybe have you already lost it?
Well, I actually felt that when I decided I wasn't going to go, the only honorable thing to do would be to contact the union and resign, which I did through email, and told them that I wanted to resign from their bleeping socialist union.
And?
How was that received?
And they sent me back an email telling me how I'd have to pay fair share dues, which I already knew. And, I mean, if that's the law, that's the law. I don't like it, but it's the law. And how they weren't a socialist union.
They're not a socialist union.
Oh, really? Did they say anything else in that email?
Because that was it. So is socialist because they're further left than that, or socialist in a different, not socialist in a different way?
I don't know, but there's more to it. I mean, why are we throwing in with other groups that are just going to dilute the message of the Chicago teachers? I'll guarantee you, if we got a bunch of kids that just crawled out of their mother's basement in the march, scuffling with police anywhere, they were going to get the press, not the teachers.
Yeah, I know some Black Lives Matters protesters are going to be there. Some SEIU protesters I heard are going, and they have encouraged us parents to go and to bring our children, but I'm going to decide to opt out of that.
Well, when did we turn into France?
I think it was about 1996, 1995 in Chicago. No, it's a fair point. So, what's the response You talk to other teachers, not just at Lane Tech, but I'm sure you've got relationships outside of your school in the education space in Chicago. And what's the reaction to your decision, as well as what this, as you described, this show strike that Karen Lewis is doing?
Well, honestly, I don't have a lot of relations with teachers outside of Lane. But the ones inside Lane, for the most part, and this may be a selective, non-scientific poll, because often people that don't agree with you won't come and face you with it.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody that that has come to talk to me, I don't seek them out necessarily, has said that we kind of agree with what you said, or we do agree with what you said, but I got to walk because I got 10 more years with this outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about the students, though? Do they know what you're doing and how you're taking a stand?
Well, I don't imagine that it'd be, it'd be pretty tough for them not to know what I'm doing. It's been throughout most media. And, most of them know, or a good part of them know, and some, they have their own feelings. They're pretty smart, mature kids here at Lane, so they'll figure it out the way they want to.
And it's, as you said, it's kind of a teachable moment with respect to what you teach in class about respect for the law and substantive process, and then abiding that, and you providing the example of abiding that. We're talking to Michael DeRoss. He's a social science teacher at Lane Tech High School in Chicago. What about some of the underlying issues? I mean, because this show strike, as you described it, and potentially a real strike next month or in May, it's over increasing the contribution that teachers pay into the pension system on a go-forward basis. Where do you come down on kind of reforming structurally pension system, CPS more generally?
Well, you don't have enough time for all that, but let me throw a couple things out. Back in the day, the union was suckered, I think, by the board and the mayors to say, we won't give you a raise, we'll just put some pension pickup in here. And we took it. Said, okay, well, we won't get a raise, but you're going to pick up some more of our pension. And we took it, and then they went and said, no, pension holiday. So they're wrong. They're dead wrong on that. You make a contract, you abide by the contract. That's what we should do. Now, if you want to negotiate a different one coming forward, then negotiate it. But to unilaterally say we're going to start charging you when we're still working under the terms of an old contract is dead wrong.
But you would be open to the idea of prospectively bargaining for the structure of the pensions that CPS teachers receive and other material benefits. As part of a collective bargaining process, so everybody knows what the deal is when it's presented for ratification, and then what it would be going forward if it's ratified. You'd be open to that.
Well, they can bargain for whatever they want. You're right. That's part of negotiation. We can ask to get paid $1 million a year, and they can tell us they want to pay us 10 cents, and we're going to meet somewhere in between.
Closer to $1 million, I think.
Are you worried that your pension won't be there when you retire?
Well, anybody that's not retired already needs to worry about that, between that and Social Security. And by the way, maybe if we would just go and say, put us into the Social Security system, then the board would have to kick that money to Social Security, and the federal government wouldn't let them take a pension holiday.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to change out your pension under CPS for Social Security, do you? That's a drastically reduced benefit.
The question at hand would be the expense, as I thought where we were going.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
And if the board's crying over paying the pension as it is now, well, fine. Give us 401k or our own directed pension, 403b, and go put us all under Social Security and pay your 7%, and then tell Uncle Sam, hey, we don't have it, we're not paying it this month. See what they do.
Michael DeRoss, I am exercising my executive authority to install you as the president of the Chicago Teachers Union.
Hey, Michael, what are you going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, right, Ted. I'll be thin and good looking before that happens.
Hey, Michael DeRoss, what are you going to do tomorrow when your coworkers are out there on the picket lines?
Well, I'm going to go to work and see what work there is to do. If there are any kids there at all to be dealt with, we'll deal with them. If not, teachers never run out of work to do. Trust me on that one. I got lessons I can plan. papers to grade, but even if it comes to the idea of just sitting there and reviewing new things to be taught, I can do that as well. There'll be something to do. I'm not just going to sit there and drink coffee and listen to WIND.
Well, you could do that while you grade papers. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, Michael DeRoss, social science teacher at Lane Tech High School. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good day.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.